you mean?
No, I thought you said you wanted me to say it first.
I did want you to say it first.
So yeah, I'm going to say it.
Then say it.
Not when you're going to force me like that.
I mean,
I don't want to say it on my own.
I don't want to say it.
Welcome to Barbell Banter, guys, where we talk about absolutely nothing.
Obviously, and we just banter back and forth like this. That's what it's about. So subscribe and share with all your friends. Thank you. That's it. But yeah, so we want to break down the Ned journey today.
Ned journey.
Yeah, I want to get one too. I'm going to break down my journey one of these days.
Everybody has a story.
Yeah, my story's a little crazy though. Like, I got to edit my story.
I personally like listening to people's stories, because then you could have a better understanding where they came from and who they are and why they are the way they are, right? And it's easy for people to pass judgment and not understand that person. So if you could listen to their story, you'd be like, okay, I get it. And like, you came from a certain area, or you grew up a certain way, or something happened to you that made you, either dislike something, or find offense in something, whatever it is.
Right.
So yeah, no, I definitely like hearing everybody's story.
Word.
So my story.
Let's hear your story.
Story.
Let's hear.
I'm boring. Nobody really wants to hear about my story.
Well, let's break it up. How old are you right now?
I'm gonna be 49 in May.
49. Okay.
Yeah. You see? Wait, hold up.
Listen.
Wait, no, hold up. The way you said that.
I said okay.
No, the way you said okay.
What you mean?
You're like, okay, like, do you need help? Like.
No, I mean, for 49, you look damn good. Okay.
I felt some type of way about that.
No. That was a surprise to me. So you should take it as a compliment. I thought you were younger.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Well,
I did. No, seriously.
Yeah,
you have a lot of energy. You're active, and I seen you jump the other day. I was like, wow, for a 49-year-old.
You didn't think I could jump?
I didn't think you could jump. Like, you're top heavy. Like,
you're the second person that said that to me.
You are.
That's insulting.
I'm sorry.
What am I, like,
gotta work on your legs some more. Work on the legs. Chill out on the top a little bit.
I'm fine. I came to terms with my calf not growing.
You just can't.
Usually, generally speaking, people that are heavier set have bigger calves. Your calf is the first muscle that activates when you stand up. So if you're a big person, you need a lot of...
But I think it's the opposite, though. In my experience, I've seen people that are, like, skinnier have bigger calves.
Depends on what they do.
Like, as far as, like... I'm talking about the development. Like, as far as the definition.
Right.
Like, of course, if you're heavy set, you're going to have a general bigger calf, right?
Right.
But I'm talking about, like, the definition to where you're seeing striations and veins in the calf muscle.
Right.
Usually I see that on, like, people that do track and field, biking,
hiking,
basketball, stuff like that. Maybe some football guys, but usually it's the wide receivers, the people that's running. Yeah. So it takes a lot to get that, to develop it.
Right, it does.
And I think a lot of it comes from running and jumping. It's
a forgotten muscle in, the workout world, or whatever you want to call it, because it's like, what are you gonna do? Like, you're working when you're working your legs. You're thinking, squat, deadlift, lunges, split squats. You're doing everything else. I mean, like, doing calf raises is probably like the last thing you're gonna worry about.
All right. So you probably should do them first.
You could. That probably
just knock them out.
If you did calf raises first before you did squats, it would make the squats harder, because your calves have to activate when you're at the bottom of your squat to get back up.
That'd probably be a good thing then.
Yeah.
Just don't go too hard on the calves.
Right.
So
it's good to switch it up, no matter what body part you're working.
Yeah, I've always thought that was cool though, because I've never developed my calves to that point where I've had striations in it. I've got the biceps, I got the chest, abs. I've had like...
Maybe we should start a challenge, like the calf challenge.
I think I will this time, because that's going to be... It's hard. Yeah. It's like, I know how hard it was for me to get my biceps.
We can do even Amanda, she's doing her calf raises right now. We can start a challenge, and then we'll take, before and after pictures of your calves.
All right, let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's do it. I really do want to get them together, because, listen, I was the heavy set guy with...
You could be like a leg model.
Legs. I don't think so. Not yet. Not yet. I gotta definitely do a lot more lunges and wall sits. But no, this time I'm attacking it differently. Like, I'm at that point now where my body can kind of take it up a little bit.
Right.
So I'm like, let me work on my legs this time, because I mean, getting the upper body is always easy for me. So, and I've always done it that way, from top down. So this time I'm trying to go from the bottom up. Yeah. really work on the legs because as I'm getting older, like I want to be more flexible. I want to be just be more active.
Right.
Like I've noticed that. I just like had a thought the other day. Like, when's the last time I ran full speed? When's the last time you ran full speed?
I'm not Cat Williams.
Right.
Probably blow something out.
You saw that video?
I'll probably definitely blow something out.
Yo, what was Cat doing?
So,
like, why was he there?
He ran, but like they were doing a stopwatch with their cell phones. So like, how accurate is that? Like, did they actually start when he started, and then like, did they stop it when he crossed the line? So it's hard to tell.
Right.
He looked like he was moving, but
he's a little guy though.
He's a little guy.
Yeah.
And he had good form. Like, I'm always like, when I watch somebody do something, I'm always like critiquing him. You know, I'm always like, oh, he could have did, he could took a longer stride. To me, I felt like he was doing more choppy run versus like a long stride. I'm not a runner, so like, you could take what I say for whatever. But I don't know.
To me, it looked like he pulled something towards the end.
He kind of looked like he leaned up a little bit. He probably didn't want to be like Kevin Hart. Remember he ran?
Oh yes.
And he like I forget what he did.
It was another. Why are these celebrities out here running? That was a little while ago though.
Yeah.
With Kevin Hart.
Yeah. And he ended up in a hospital.
Yeah, he ended up in the hospital after that. Yeah.
That's embarrassing. See, that's what would happen to me. So I'm not even gonna attempt.
Yeah, no, I did that with my little brother. Like my little brother, he's a decade younger than me. So basically, well, I'm 30, so I made it seem like I'm your age.
Damn.
All right.
Again.
I was just joking.
Okay, so we're gonna start with where I came from.
Yes.
And then you went on this tangent about me being old.
Listen.
And then here we are.
It's a podcast,
the way
right?
He said it, he's like, damn.
Bantering back and forth.
That's the banter, bro.
That is banter.
All right, so we're gonna get back on topic.
On topic. So I am originally from New Jersey. I moved out here in the beginning of 2017. My brother lived in Maryland at the time, and he used to tell me that moving out to Maryland would be beneficial for me because in Jersey, a gym is a dime a dozen. It's like a liquor store and a church. There's one pretty much on every corner, and everybody's doing the same exact thing. I did well out there, and so I moved. Well, before I moved, I came out to go see him, and I had a friend that lived in York, and I went to go work out there. Got offered a job at the Gold's Gym, the new one that they're building at the Galleria Mall.
Oh, nice.
Worked there for a couple of years. Went down to what is the name of that? Pauline Drive.
Okay.
The one right off of. That's where I met Trent.
In Shrewsbury.
No. The one off of Pauline Drive.
Oh yeah, no.
Off 83 there.
83. Yep. What's it called? Queen Street? Is that Queen Street? Pauline Drive, right?
Yes.
Yeah, Queen Street.
Yeah, it's like whatever.
Yeah. Right, they're giant.
Yeah.
That thing shut down still.
Yeah, they're trying to sell, but that's another podcast.
Yeah.
Right. And then that's why I moved down to Shrewsbury. I was there for a couple of years until 2019. In 2019, there's a member there, and he was like, "Why are you not doing this on your own?" He's like, "You were here from 4 o'clock in the morning until like 7, 8 o'clock at night." And I'm like, "I don't know." I'm like, I never thought about it, And to start a business it's scary, right? Like there's a lot to it. It's just not you opening the doors. Like there's a high risk, and for what I do, it's the market's up and down, right? Depending on what time of the year is, whether it's summer or winter time. So like there's a lot to worry about. And he kept saying to me, another one of my clients, most of my clients are just like, you should be doing this for yourself because like you're here all the time and like you're working owner hours, right? So I'm like, yeah, okay. So I decided to go on my own. At first it didn't work out. I made bad decisions, and I'll take accountability for that because I wanted it so bad at that point that I was almost willing to quote unquote sell my soul just to have the business, right? And people took advantage of that because, and as much as I hate to say, at the end of the day, the business is going to succeed or fail because of me, not because of whoever has money, right? That person is a nobody. Not to sound mean or anything else, but that's just the way it is.
Yeah.
Like they were coming for me because they know who I am. They know I'm the guy that's going to train them. I am good at what I do.
Yeah.
And that's why I have a good clientele and a good following. I took advantage of that. I backed out of that deal, and that made me the bad guy. he's this, he's that, all this other stuff. And
like publicly?
Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely. And it is what it is. I kept my mouth shut through the whole thing, never said anything.
Good.
Kept it moving. Went down to New Freedom, opened a gym there with a partner. And that situation turned sour towards the end. In the beginning, it was fine. Everybody was happy. But when certain people weren't getting the attention that they felt they needed, and again, it's like another situation of, it doesn't matter, right? If you're my partner and people are coming to see me, at the end of the day, you're still making money, right? Whether you're making money, if I'm an owner, I don't really want to be the guy that's I want to get to a point where I'm not busting my ass, right? I want to have somebody, I want to have a man to come in, I'll be like, I don't have to worry about it because Amanda's going to make me a lot of money today, right? I want her to be the face of the business.
Right.
I want to just go around and pick up checks all day. That's the point of being a business owner and being a manager and being able to hire people on your team. And it wasn't like that. There's a lot of egos, a lot of jealousy. And again, it is what it is. Everybody's entitled to their feelings, and everybody's entitled to.
Hey, listen, what did the contract say?
Right.
Was there a contract that said anything about that?
That's the thing. There was no contract
at all.
It was a smile and a handshake.
Oh, okay.
And when I left, I had some stuff that was mine, and they had some stuff that was theirs, and I took what was mine. And then it was, he's a thief, he's this, he's that. And I'm like, there's no agreement.
Wow.
Not my fault. You didn't make that, right?
I mean, hey, at the end of the day...
At the end of the day, is what it is. And that's fine. Again, and all that's fine. All this was a learning experience to me.
Right.
And my point of saying all this is that, all the mistakes I've made in life, I learned from them, right? And I made a lot of mistakes in my life. And I learned. And if you're the type of person where you're putting yourself out there and you're trying to do something, and you're trying hard, you're going to fall down a lot. And if you're not getting back up, then you're not trying. So I'm okay with people talking about me because that's still, you're promoting me.
All right.
People are like, he did what? Let me check this guy out. Let me see what he's doing.
Exactly.
So that's fine. You could talk about me all you want. You could say whatever you want about me and think what you want. And I'm okay with that because at the end of the day, I know who I am and what I'm going to do and what I could bring to the table. So that situation I moved out of, and then I came up here. I known Dave's wife from years ago when I worked at Gold Gym in Shrewsbury. And she recommended to Dave that I come up here and open a gym here, and it's been great ever since. I can't complain about it. Leaving Jersey probably was the hardest and smartest decision I ever had to make. Because I have 2 kids, right, and they're still in Jersey, and I had a talk with them, and it was for the better. The situation that it was, with being divorced and being single and trying to make it and everything else that's going on in life. Again, it was definitely the hardest and best decision at the same time. So it's like you're riding that roller coaster of emotions. When you're out here, you're trying to do things.
I'm almost shedding a tear. I'm watching a movie for you, bro.
Right.
This is a movie.
So it's it was a lot, and this business, again, going back to people saying like whatever about me, like this business is my heart and soul, because I started this business in memory of my father, right? As Freedom Fitness, that name came from my father serving in the Army. He gave his life for all of us to be here, right? Just as many other men and women in the military have done for us. So him being in the military and being a police officer, he was a public servant. Me being a business owner, personal trainer, I'm a public servant. I'm able to give back to my community because being a business owner, my ability to affect people is limitless. Like there's almost nothing that I can't do to help somebody out because you don't know what people are going through. And like my father, I remember growing up, and the memories I have my father are always him either in his police outfit or in his military suit going to work. Like he never ever complained about any, like I never heard my father be like, oh, I'm tired, I don't want to go to work.
Right.
No, he was like clockwork. You can figure out where he's going. And like that is, I think, one of my driving forces for what I do and for me being relentless and keep trying to want to do better, help out in the community, like do events, give back as much as I can. Because of that, that's one of the things I carry from my father that I put into my business that nobody could take away from me. You know, and that's like, you know, going back to my point. People can say whatever they want about you, but they can't take certain things away from you.
Right.
And those are the things that you need to keep in mind to help you drive to do or become what you want to be.
Yeah.
So if you like our show, subscribe.
Yeah, basically, if you like it, subscribe. Originally, I wanted to be a surgeon.
Okay.
Right? And I only wanted to be a surgeon just because anatomy came easily to me. And my mom worked in the medical field, and she was like the person that I always saw. Like when you were saying, like you saw your father going
To work.
To work, yeah. Like I remember her coming home and going to work, and like the smell of her clothes smelling like the hospital. Like,
Right.
I feel like
my
that's
mom
why
was a nurse. Yeah.
I don't like the hospital because of that smell now. Like I can't get it out of my brain, but I remember that like very distinctively. She worked very hard. Like she traveled and worked all the time. Like I almost never saw her.
Right.
And except for like when she was on these breaks where she'd have like a couple days and then she'd be gone for a long time. You know.
It was the same because my mom was a nurse and my dad being a police officer. They were always on opposite shifts, sometimes, and so either like my mom would be home sleeping because she's got to go to work, or my dad would be home sleeping. So it was like always. But even though they're home, like, and it's different now than it was then. Like we used to take care of ourselves, right? You know.
I was just about to go there. I basically now I'm thinking about it. I freaking raised myself. Like
we did. Like we had to. We figured it out, and like, you know, the rule was, if nobody's home, don't answer the door, don't answer the phone. That's it. Do your homework. When I come home, the house better be clean, or that's your ass.
All right.
And you did it.
All
Like,
right.
there's no questions. There's no talking back. There's nothing.
Yeah, those are the rules.
Those
Did
are
they
the
always
rules.
get followed though?
Sometimes we got in trouble.
You
I
know?
mean, you know, we're kids.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was. You know, that's definitely one of the fondest memories of my father, and like, you know, with the logo being the Statue of Liberty, when he was overseas in Desert Storm, me and my dad used to always take these day trips. Like and it's funny, like, you know, things that I remember, because he would come home from work, working all night. He'd come home, he'd shower, we'd eat breakfast together, and we would drive 45 minutes back down to Edison, because there's this guy, Mr. Lee, and funny how I can remember his name, computer store, and this is like when computers first started coming out, and he knew I liked computers. So we'd drive 45 minutes down to this computer store, and we'd just sit there and play with computers for like 2 hours. And we might have I think we bought like 2 computers out of the guy. But like, this was like every Saturday, this is something we would do. But going back to what I was saying, like, we would take these day trips, and when he was overseas at Desert Storm, he said that we're going to go see a Statue of Liberty when he comes home. Unfortunately, when my father was overseas, he contracted cancer, because that's when Saddam was using the chemicals. You know, the army might say something different, but it is what it is. So we never got to go see the Statue of Liberty because he passed away the day he came home from the hospital, and that's what made me want to use that logo. So
wow,
that's
beautiful.
Yeah,
that's beautiful.
Yeah,
nice. Damn, man, I interrupted. You should have. Why'd you take a break? You should.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
No, that was beautiful. Like I didn't know that. That's what I was asking.
Yeah,
though.
that's
like,
where the logo. That's where the logo came from. And again, it's like, you know, going back. You know, keep going back to what I was saying. That's something somebody can't take away from me. You know, people could say like, oh, you know, Ned's this, or, you know, he wasn't the business. Whatever it is, like, the idea of Freedom Fitness is me. Right. And that's not me trying to be cocky. It is what it is. And like, if you're my partner, you're gonna come along for a ride. It doesn't matter, because we're equal partners. And like, we have to keep that in mind, and not let egos take advantage of that. Right.
Exactly. I mean, I feel like sometimes
it's human nature.
Exactly.
It's human nature for people to want to feel validated.
Exactly.
Right? What about me?
Yeah.
What about me?
Yeah.
What about you? Do something like and everybody's their own individual. Everybody, again, like how we're talking, you're telling me your story and I'm telling you mine. Everybody has their own story. So put your story out there.
Right.
You know, learn how to communicate with the community, learn how to put yourself out there and do that. And if you can't, that's fine too.
I feel like it's to each his own.
Right.
To each his own, because like you said, if you can't, that's fine. Like, what makes you even want to tell your story?
Right.
You know, what is the point?
Right.
Like,
are you trying to tell your story because like, oh, me too? Like,
right. Is it a me too
right.
thing? So that's why I cut off what I was saying earlier, because it was just one point. I could have kept going on my story.
Yeah.
And I kind of just wanted to preference it just because it made me think of something. Right. And because honestly, I never had my father in my life. So it's nice to hear that, you know, even though your dad was a hardworking man, he still took his time out to spend those 2-hour weekends.
My dad was definitely a hard man. Like, we grew up, he raised us as if we were in the military. Yeah. I remember, even if we weren't sick, excuse me, even if we weren't sick, we'd take medicine. And I can't even remember the name of it. I'd have to ask my brother. But, like, we would all line up.
Right.
My mom would be standing here. My dad would be standing there with the bottle and the thing. And my mom, and he would pour it in a spoon. And then my mom would give us a spoon, and we'd have to take it. And he'd check our mouth, and then the next one in line would go.
All right.
It's like, and like now you think about it, like, damn, that's fucked up, right?
Not even sick.
Not even sick.
Oh
but
shit.
But you think about it, like in the military, like they're giving them shots or making them do all this stuff, and
right.
like, you know, they don't really need it, do they? Like,
right.
But you know, they're traveling overseas, so like they do all the precautionary stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, my dad, there's like things in my mind that pop up when I think of memories. Like my father was very diligent. Like, so if you needed a note for school, not only would he write you a note, he'd write you like a dissertation. Like, and like this is going back to like typewriters. So like all you'd hear in my dad upstairs is typewriter. Like for 20 minutes, you're like, what's this guy writing? Like I'm just telling the teacher, like, I gotta miss class tomorrow. Like, what's he telling her?
To whom this may concern.
No, he does write that. That's what he wrote. That's funny, but that's what he wrote.
No, I know that because my grandmother used to write letters for us sometimes, and in cursive, like the finest cursive you ever seen.
Uh-huh.
My brother's the only one that I seen write better than her.
Really?
Trent can write like a calligrapher. It's weird, but she would write these letters where I couldn't even read them.
Right.
Like, that's how good and bad in cursive it was.
Right.
Like, to the point where like it was not denied. Like there's no way you like, where did this letter come from? It's almost like I had to unroll it with a scroll. Like,
yeah. Right, with the what do you call those things? The feather pen.
That's what I was trying to think of the whole time. Freaking feather pen. Yeah, that's what it is. Like she dipped it in the ink.
Yeah, my dad was something else.
School.
Couple of stories. Like another story of my dad is he's a police officer in East Orange, and my my sister's husband, my brother-in-law, he actually trained him when he was a rookie. And he was telling me like how they still use a lot of my father's techniques for their training courses and stuff like that. Even though like my father's, and I know where I get it from now, because like when I tell you and I joke with you and I say like I'm hard to work with, my father's definitely hard to work with. And this is like going back in the 80s, and he used to walk down Central Avenue, which is in East Orange. And East Orange makes Baltimore look like Disneyland.
Really?
Well, East Orange is bad. He used to walk down Central Avenue, East Orange with a shotgun on his shoulders, walk up and down the block. Like, you can't do that. Like, you're not supposed to do that, but like nobody would tell my father no.
Right.
Like, and he was like at the time he's a patrolman, but like, you know, his superiors would never say anything to him because like, they just knew like, okay, we're not gonna mess with Duke today. He's on something. He's just doing his own thing. But that's my dad. That's who my dad was. Like, I remember going to East Orange with my mom. Like, she'd come home, come pick us up. We'd go down to East Orange to go get a haircut. And as soon as she entered the city, East Orange, my dad would figure out where she was and pull her over, just to bust with her. But that's Ned Duke. Yeah, that applies to a lot in life. Starting a business. I did it during COVID, and everybody was like, "Oh, you're nuts." But when's the right time?
Never. There's never gonna be the right time.
If you keep, I could find an excuse.
1,000,000 times over. Yeah.
And that's, I could find excuses for not working out in the morning.
Exactly.
Right? I could sleep another hour. I can, do whatever else I want to do.
Go to bed later.
Right. Yeah. You can find an excuse for anything.
Yeah. Listen,
the brain is a very powerful muscle.
So you know how I use that? In reverse. I start to find those excuses, and then I just reverse them.
Right.
Like if I got all these reasons not to, I definitely can flip these to this positive.
It makes you that much stronger if you can, like, fight those voices in your head.
Oh yeah.
And just do it.
Oh yeah.
Like,
for sure.
everything is telling you not to. Stay in bed. You're underneath the blanket. You're comfortable. That's when you have to say, I'm getting up. Just get right up, get in the shower, and get out the door.
That's me this morning.
Yeah. Your body generally just wants you to sit around.
I think that's what it is. It just wants to keep you safe.
Yeah.
It's like a defense mechanism.
Sit there. Just relax. You're at home. You're good. You got your show on. You got your laptops out. Where you going?
Right. Exactly.
Stay home.
We want to stay right here.
You can go tomorrow.
Right.
And then tomorrow turns into next week, and then you're like, I was out this week. And you're like, then you're thinking about it, and you're like, I don't want to go right now because I'm not gonna work out as good as I thought I was gonna work out because I went in like 2 weeks and I'm gonna feel like shit, and then that's gonna get in your head, and then you're gonna play that, and you're be like, well, then I don't want to go into the gym because I don't feel comfortable. Maybe I gain a little bit of weight. Like I don't want to work out. Anybody's there, and you're like, I'll go later, and that's the. I know for me that's if I say I'm gonna work out later, I'm not gonna work out.
Right.
There's so many different things are going on, so that's why I have to do it in the morning, in the beginning. Because I'll talk myself out of it because shit happens throughout the day, right?
I will too. I find often that
I wake up, I work out, I start my day.
Yeah, just routine.
Yeah.
Getting back to it.
Yeah.
So I'm getting back on the 5 to 6 a.m. I really want to be on like 5 to 4 a.m. But this week I'm trying to stay in that 5 to 6 a.m. Get in with Sam. Also just get a workout in. Get started working at 6.
How's your shoulder?
It's doing good.
Yeah.
It just hurt because I've been working it a lot and I slept on it. Like
working out in the gym?
Yeah, working out in the gym and like just starting to load a lot more weight on it.
Are you doing your mobility still?
Yeah, of course. I'm doing all those exercises all the time, like all day basically. Whenever it's bothering me, like right now it's good. I'll probably do it a little bit later, like just as you're making me want to do it right now. Like, but like I just do different ones. Try to move my shoulder blade because like I was telling you, that's where the root issue is, and my shoulder blade wasn't rotating.
Right.
So it's like...
That's what they told you when you went to that seminar?
No, that's not what they told me. They actually broke down all of the causes, right? And it's only 4 causes, they said. And I'm like, all right, that makes sense, you know. So I just worked it out like a puzzle. Okay, it's not this, it's not this, it's not this. And then I was like, the last thing was the shoulder blade. And I just went to my mirror and like did that motion to see. And I noticed that this one's rotating out and this one's having a hard time. It's not rotating out like that. So that's where part of the issue is. And then I also have the bicep strain in the front, you know, and then it's out, well, not anymore. It's not really out of place anymore because the bone itself was kind of like pushing on the nerve too. So basically for me, doing the like athletic development, the active recovery, stretches, starting to slowly load weight on it. I can actually sleep now. I still stretch throughout the night, but I don't bother her as much now.
Right.
But yeah, so it's been doing good. Good for the most part. It's been doing good. I can actually do a push up all the way down now. Had to drop 20 for him today.
Nobody will complain on your videos anymore then.
Yeah, no, nobody's complaining no more.
Good.
Nobody's complaining because I'm dropping. I mean, I'm still going to do the short push-ups too because they help. Like when you're tired and you're doing high reps, like I'm not going for perfect form.
Just move.
That's what I'm saying. So that's what I feel like.
Right. As long as you're not doing something that's crazy and out of the norm where you're going to hurt yourself, just move.
Right.
And then start from there. Again, back to what our shirts say. Keep it simple.
Got to. Well, yeah. I mean, my regimen's pretty simple. It's push-ups, pull-ups, dips, some type of sit-ups or leg lifts, squats, lunges, shoulder raise. All right, it's not simple.
Right.
It's a lot. So once I really get into it, like that's me talking about one routine. So it would look like, all right, at my peak of strength, I used to work out for 6 hours, which is way too much.
Way too much
for some people. But when you are
6 hours at 6 hours at a clip, like just you go to the gym.
Yeah, 6 hours. Like we're spending almost a shift.
What are you doing in that 6 hours?
Okay, so everything.
Like
everything.
Like you work every day.
Every day.
It's a lot.
It is.
And
maybe I'll take 1 or 2 days off. Okay. Max.
Because again, like your recovery is just as important as your workout. So if you're working out 6 hours, like every day, and you're working every body part, when are you giving the body parts, your whole body's essentially time to rest and recover?
The rest of the day.
It's not enough. Because the way it works is the amount of strenuous exercise that you do, there's a calculation for your rest time. So if you're working out an hour, like you need like, I don't know, like 3 hours of rest time. Like you should eat, recover, because your body, you're tearing your muscles, right? So you need that time to recover, and if you're not recovering, not everybody's gonna get hurt, but you're raising your risk of injury.
Right.
Hence your shoulder.
That's not why my shoulder got injured. That was my strongest time, bro. I was doing handstand push-ups at that time. Okay.
Right.
So
for 6 hours.
Yeah, no. So look, I would come in, I would do cardio, right? So I'd do like 2 to 5 miles. Right. Either running or biking. Do some cardio, then I'd do abs. Hit abs for about an hour.
Abs for an hour? What are you doing abs for an hour?
That's just what I did. It was a lot, yeah, I know. But it's just what I did. It would be like a lot of planking.
Do you feel like you're over obsessing with it?
I was.
Okay.
It was just because I was addicted at the time. Like I've never been that ripped in my life. So,
you wanted more.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It was like I was good. I was on a bad path. I was probably gonna start juicing at that, right? Like I was like, yo, I'm going 6 hours a day. I'm not getting any stronger. Like it was frustrating.
Right.
So I got to that point where I just peaked out, where I'm just like, yo, I feel like I can't get any stronger.
Because your body plateaued, because, the body's an amazing thing, and it learns how to adapt to certain situations. So if you're doing that, your body's going to adapt to it, and your body's going to be like, okay, I can do this.
Couldn't sweat anymore.
Right.
That was the problem. Like, I wouldn't start sweating until hour 3.
Right.
And then, basically, I would only sweat for like 30 minutes. After I start cooling down, it's like, I got to be so intense in order to work up a sweat.
Right.
It was ridiculous. Like my endurance was crazy. I used to do like 8-mile runs outside. Like I don't know. I don't know what happened. Oh yeah, I remember what happened. My girlfriend cheated on me. That's what happened. I just turned into an animal.
I think was this at Gold's? Were you coming in with Trent when you first started coming Trent?
Yeah.
I vaguely remember this.
Yeah. This is a while ago. We
Vaguely.
used to go crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, we made them start doing push-ups and shit. Like they actually incorporate that into their program.
Right.
Because we used to work the machines, and in between working the machines, Trent or I would be doing push-ups.
Right.
So now they started putting up signs, do push-ups in between. Like
oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
I was like, dang, they got me in office. It's all good.
It's all good. That's a compliment.
Yeah, it is. I took it as a compliment.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I started that. So I didn't see nobody else doing like calisthenics and stuff like that. Everybody wanted to be lifting all these heavy weights.
There's this one guy that used to work out in Gold's Gym Galleria Mall, and he would work out like that. And he's very intense. He would come in, and he'd do the assault bike, and then he'd do the assault bike like for 30 seconds, jump rope for like a minute, and then he would go do a push-up. So then he would go hit the chest press. And like he just worked this circuit, which is actually a really good circuit that he did. But yeah, no, he worked out. He was very, very intense. I haven't seen anybody work out like that in a while.
Yeah. I mean, that's how I like to keep it, high intensity.
Again, everybody has their own method or style of workout, whatever they feel comfortable with, and as long as you're moving, man.
Yeah.
That's it. I don't care if you go to Planet Fitness or wherever. Just go somewhere and move.
Right.
But yeah.
So that's pretty much where I want to get back to, but not like what I realize is it doesn't take that much. Like basically, I've been giving myself
not for 6 hours. You won't get back to that.
No. That's too much. If I can get to the good hour to 2 hour session max, like 2 hours every month,
right?
Types, because I'm gonna do an hour every day regardless.
Right.
So I'm looking at it like, if I can get to a 2 hour session where I'm not tired, and it's still room to where I feel like I could have pushed it a little harder, I want to keep it right there for a little bit. Because I kind of want to decide what I want to do. I might go all the way calisthenics, or I might go all the way lifting weights, like hardcore.
Why don't you just do both and just mix it up?
Mix it up? I mean, I've always been doing both.
Or
so.
you could be, you could do something like where it's, 2 weeks of weights and then, 2 weeks of weights and then, 2 weeks of calisthenics.
I like that idea. I like that idea. I'm going to try that.
That way you're shocking the body.
Right. I like that idea.
Yeah.
I'm going to give that a try. Because I completely eliminated the weights at one point in time where I was just like, you know what? All I'm using is dumbbells just for my arms. And other than that, like, I didn't do anything but push-ups.
Right.
Like, and then shoulder raises. Okay, I did some more stuff, like some lawnmowers. I'm trying to think what else. Just tricep. I don't really do that. I don't really like that too much. For tricep,
yeah.
I think dips is the best.
Right.
For triceps. Like,
it is. Now, dips is probably, in my opinion, one of the top exercises for triceps. I like them.
I love it.
Yeah.
It's like my top. Mm-hmm. Okay, so.
I like those and skull crushers are probably my two favorite, I'd have to say.
I hate that. Because it just puts so much pressure
on your elbow?
Yeah. You don't feel that like tension? You go light.
No, well, I mean, if it's hurting your elbows, go lighter.
Right.
Definitely go lighter. You don't need a lot of weight.
I didn't think about
Triceps not that big of a muscle. I mean, you go lighter weight and higher rep. Mm-hmm. Just get the blood in there. Just pump the blood in there. Right. That's what you want to do.
Right.
You know?
I like high reps versus high weight.
High weight. Yep. Yeah. You don't need to. Either way works.
I saw somewhere though that you want to have it not necessarily high reps, but like if you're trying to gain strength or build muscle, you build more muscle by keeping it like at the peak of your reps, like whatever you strain at, like that's where you want to stay at. You don't want to go anything over or anything less. So let's say I had, I don't know, 200 pounds and I'm struggling to push that up, right? Maybe I want to come down to like 170, right? And stay right there and work out with that.
Right.
Because apparently, I don't know, I gotta look it up. Next time, I'm gonna look it up. But there's a guy, it's like, this was like back in the 80s or something, or in the 70s. There's a guy that, he was testing muscle growth. And if you see how this dude grew muscle, it was like freakish. And it was from a little bit of workout though. Like it wasn't like he was really going hard or super intense. It was just like a couple of reps at a weight that's just strenuous for him.
Yeah, so, and this is what the conversation we had a while ago, and we were talking about like trying to give advice like on how to work out on certain things. And it all goes back to everybody's different, right? Because there's some people out there say they could go into the gym for 15 minutes and just hit their max weight on like 3 or 4 different exercises and they look great, like they're gaining muscle. There's people that say you have to go super heavy to gain muscle and it works for them. There's people that say, you know, you have to go lighter weight. And it all depends on the individual and how you're built, how your body's reacting to the style of workout that you're doing. So like I don't really have an opinion on how to do it. For me, it's trying to figure out, like you as a person, what's going to work best for you. Right. I guess that's the personal trainer in me. I don't know. Right. But again, like there's so many different ideas on on what to do, and that's why it's hard for me to put out videos on like what this is the Bible and how you're going to gain muscle. Right? No, they have this thing called like the Spartan workout that came out a couple years ago, and people were getting ripped off of it, and it worked, right? But it might not work for me. I don't know. For me, what works for me personally is like to say like this week I went super heavy. I'm gonna hit my maxes on whatever exercise it is, and next week I'm gonna do like 70 or 65 to 70% of what my max is, and then hit those for higher reps. And then the following week I'll go back and then I'll try to say like my deadlift was 500. Next week I'm going to try for 510, and then I'm going to each exercise I'm going to try to hit a little bit higher weight for my max, and then I'm going to go back down to hit 70% of that, or 65 or 70%, and then following I'm going to go back up 515 or 520, whatever it is, and then I just keep doing that back and forth. That works for me, and that's just the way I've been doing it. Right. So like everybody's a little bit different.
That kind of reminds me of like how we used to lift in football. Like basically we just hit whenever you build up to that max week. So let's say like 4 weeks. Out of 4 weeks, your 4th week is that max week. Right. And then back on the next week coming, or the next cycle, you're going back down maybe 70 or 60%. Right. And then you're working your way back up. Right. So where you get to that 4 week again, and now when you're at the 100% again, you're maybe 20 or 40 pounds over. Right. So that kind of reminds me of that. Like I haven't lifted weights like that in a long time, bro. Like it's been a minute since I've really started putting weight on. Like my max at 18 years old, again, I couldn't lift today, which is crazy. I used to be able to squat 415 pounds and bench 305. And I was 210 pounds. So not too bad. Like, I feel like I could have definitely been stronger.
Right.
You know, but that was the strongest I've ever been as far as weight, like, being under it and not feeling like I'm about to die.
Right,
you know
right.
what I mean? And I don't know, I just, like, I got to the point where I kind of started to figure out how to shape my body.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I was just losing weight at first, but then I figured out, okay, I need to do some more shoulders, some more arms, some more this, some more chest, you know, because of how I want my body to look. You know, I don't want it to be this way. I want it to be Dorito, you know?
Yeah.
Right? So
Dorito. I like that.
I'm just saying, you don't want it to be a Dorito upside down, right? You don't want to be a pyramid.
No.
You want to be Hova. Definitely don't want to have Jay-Z's body.
No, I saw something online about him the other day. He looks, he's big bone now.
Yeah. Hey.
I'd rather watch Britney Spears dance on her Instagram page.
Nah, that had me rolling for weeks. For weeks. I was thinking about doing the skit or something on that. I might still do it.
We do have to make that video that I sent you.
Which one? Oh, with that
the boxing.
Yeah. That's gonna be hilarious. So if you didn't know already, we started a podcast. It's called Barbell Banter, and it's coming to a screen near you soon. Okay, stay tuned for that next episode.
And if you liked it, like and subscribe. Share it with a friend.